So, today I'm off to CMC Motorcycles over in Coleshill to see my good friend Chris, and most importantly, not just to see Chris, to go and have a bit of a ride on 3 bikes. That's hoping that they're all available to me still, you know, haven't been sold, taken out by anybody else, etc, etc. But it's with regards possibly changing from the MT. Not sure I want to change from the MT, to be perfectly honest, and not sure if I'll even have a bike at all for a little bit. I might have to cut my cloth for a little bit and go without, so much decision making to be made yet. But if I do change, the 3 bikes I'm most interested in looking at, although I don't rule many things out, are probably fairly predictably the Speed Triple, the S1000R and the SuperDuke R. So that's what I'm going to look at today. They've got one of each of these in, or they did have one of each of these in last time I looked a few days ago, all 2017 models. So we'll have a look to see what we think of them all, have a back-to-back test of them all, and see how they compare and get a feel for what I fancy. So there we go. I'll see you in a bit. So here I am on the BMW S1000R. As you can see, it's turned into a very, very wet, miserable day, which is a bit miserable, not very nice. I've stuck the bike into rain mode because at the end of the day it's not my bike, it's unfamiliar, and you know, don't want anything nasty to happen. As you can probably also hear, it's got a very loud Two Brothers exhaust on it, which is nice and loud. Horrible wet roads. Oh, look at that. For a failed roundabout negotiation. Initial thoughts? Certainly a damn sight more comfortable than the RR, which I tried a few years ago. Feels like a train, as you'd expect, although it actually doesn't feel too exciting, it's got to be said. Quite a dull ride in many ways so far. Now whether that would be different if it was a dry and I had lots more time on the bike and the roads were familiar. The brakes don't feel all that sharp on this, which is a bit disappointing. Yes, I'm being very ginger, I agree. You know, let me just press the button on the camera for a moment. Just checking that's recording, which it is. Oh, there's no denying the power. It's all there. Loads of grunt. Actually loads more wind noise on this than on my MT, which is a bit of a surprise, because this has actually got a bit of a screen, as you can see. My MT's got nothing at all. Riding position's pretty comfortable. Gear is missed. The gear lever is very low on this for me, so not the most natural position. But problem that, you know, that's just adjustments, isn't it, at the end of the day. You know, all in all, a comfy-ish bike, probably comfier than my MT. Says parking over here. I'll see if I can park up somewhere sensible and have a bit of a look over the bike altogether. So here we go, the BMW S1000R. Big screen on this, I think. Questionable looks. I know people aren't too sure about the lights. Obviously this has got the I don't know what you call them, supports for some luggage. For the loud exhaust. Yeah, funny old riding position, but it actually does work. You'd think it wouldn't, but it does seem to work. As you can see in here, a very wet and miserable day, loads of spray. Anyway, we'll get this back and then take out something else and see what we think. Get this into opposite. However, let's just get this exhaust note. I don't know how well you'll hear it. Can't argue with that, can you? That sounds nice. Of course, one of the nicest things about this is that whatever mode you put it in and leave it in, when you restart the bike, it comes up in that mode. So you can, I don't know if you can read that, we're in rain mode again. With my MT, it always comes up in standard mode, no matter what you've left it in. So I do like that. That's one of the bad things about the MT. One of the very few bad things about it, to be honest. And one thing I do like about this. So let's pull off and head back to the dealer. It is nice, it is comfortable. I could see me using this, you know, in fairness. I could see me being quite happy with one of these. Some people complain about vibrations a lot. I can't say I've noticed that. Maybe I need to ride it more. But, you know, you have got some nice features with this. You've got cruise control, you've got heated grips. Not sure how you turn them on. Oh, there we go. Heated grips. There we go, they're on. Just for giggles, try them out. You've got the different riding modes. You've got all manner of stuff. Properly configurable dash. It's nice. Good bike. Quite how it compares to the others, I don't know, but I guess we'll find out, won't we? Oh, in fairness, those grips work nicely. Warming up my hands very well. Brakes work well, even in the wet, as I've just discovered. Right, so we're out on the Speed Triple. This is a 94R apparently, which is a limited edition model. I've always loved these bikes, I've got to say. Always said I'd have one, never have. Always fancy one. Sounds beautiful. This triple engine sounds so much nicer than the BM. The bike feels more solid, if that makes sense. Obviously it isn't as loud because it hasn't got a daft exhaust on it. It just kind of feels right. Everything feels right on this. It's good. It's got a nice shift light, which we'll see in a little bit once we get an opportunity. Hoping we don't run out of fuel, because obviously there isn't a lot in this by the seams of things. Brakes feel much more confidence inspiring. So we'll see how we go. That is recording now, I'm sure. Yep. I haven't actually worked out I haven't had a play with the display at all. There appears to be no gear indicator, which is a bit unusual. This is a 2015 model bike though, although I'm led to believe it's absolutely the same. I do wonder if the newer one has got any extra features like the gear lever indicator. This just feels that little bit better in the wet as well, a little bit more confidence inspiring. I don't know why. There we go, here we go, let's look at the shift light. Nice blue shift light. There you go. Overtake, can't get a feel for the power yet. We'll do fairly shortly, hopefully. I think there's a roundabout coming up soon. One eye bottled a bit. Ah, so much more fun. And the brakes are good as well. Yeah, much more inspiring in the wet. And that 3-cylinder engine, of course, sounds beautiful as you'd expect. Very nice, I've got to say. Is that recording again? Yeah. Obviously I haven't got my remote, so I've got to make sure. I can't feel, well, you can't feel the buttons too well, so I've got to make sure I have actually hit it. Got to say at the moment, out of this and the S1000R, I'm favouring this. Much less wind blast. I mean, that screen on that BM was massive, and yet there was huge bucket loads of wind blast off it. Horrible. This, you got, you know, pretty much non-existent screen, and it feels much more like my MT, which of course has no screen. Just the bells and the whistles on the BM are that bit better. I think the BM has got more power. It feels more powerful. Indicators feel better. Yeah, the overall feel of this bike is definitely nicer than the BM. it has not disappointed. I didn't think it would, to be honest, although it's not a bike that keeps jumping out at me as one that I want to have. I've always had a bit of a secret love affair with these. So, Speed Triple R 94R, this one, the limited edition. See from the front there. Sorry for not mega smooth video. I haven't brought the gimbal with me. Two under seat exhausts. There's not a bad colour. Sounds quite nice still. Yeah, what a nice machine. Something about it, isn't there? So, yeah, I think this is the one I prefer at the moment. Let's take it back to the KTM SuperDuke R. See, again, you got no riding modes with this, which is very unusual for a modern bike. But it delivers the power in a nice, sensible sort of way. No nasty surprises. Quite tame. You know, no shortage of grunt, but quite tame. Probably ideal for me, really. I don't do hooligan Sunday morning ride outs like I used to. So, suits me quite well. I think obviously there are more exciting bikes out there, but if you want something that rides really nicely, actually, you know, you can't complain about the way this rides. It's planted, it's solid, it's predictable, it's well mannered, but it's quick. It's probably about as quick as my MT, maybe not quite as quick, but I hardly ever use that at full power, so it's not really a problem, is it? Very unprofessional on this video today, aren't I? Even more than usual, but you know, we've got to wing it a little bit. I like this, I gotta say. Kind of feels like you belong, like you come home. Now the roads are still pretty wet, so conclusions from today. Oh, honestly, oh, I don't know. I mean, obviously it's quite good to be back onto the MT after riding those two, so I can compare obviously the potential new purchase with what I've already got. Immediately I took off from the car, well, through the car park even. I was reminded of how light this bike is compared to certainly the Triumph and even the BM. Feels lighter anyway. This could just be, you know, riding position, could be actual weight, balance, who knows. But it feels lighter, it feels more flickable, still feels full of grunt in a nice, predictable manner. I mean, I've got it in B mode right now because of this weather, and it's still got plenty of grunt. It just delivers it in a very nice, sensible sort of way. and it's hard to find what the other two have got that are worth so much more money than what I've already got now. You know, there's no drama with this MT. You can have drama, don't get me wrong, but actually there isn't any at the moment. It's well behaved when you want it to be. It's hooligan when you want it to be. And the Triumph kind of feels like it's probably always well behaved. I think, to be honest, it doesn't really matter. The BM just didn't seem that exciting, but it has got masses of grunt, so maybe I'm just being a bit unfair to it. In some ways, the worst thing I could have done was to jump back on the MT, because right now I'm already feeling like I don't want to change my bike. I don't feel like anything's worth changing for. Now obviously that KTM could be a totally different matter, but at the same time that KTM is so incredibly expensive compared to this anyway. Well, pretty expensive anyway. I know they do deals, and you know what, maybe it isn't going to work out that much more expensive, but it certainly isn't as cheap as keeping the bike I've got. And I think it's probably going to have to be quite exceptional to drag me away from this. You know, I've now, in the last couple of years, I've ridden an S1000R, an S1000R, an MT10, and the Speed Triple, and I don't feel like any of them makes me want to come away from the MT, and that's mad. And I'm not going to sit there and try and tell you that this bike is the very best bike in the world and that everybody should have one, although actually, you know, everybody should have one just for a bit of fun. It might not do everything you want it to do, and it you know, it might not fit your normal profile, and there's plenty it's not probably ideal for, but I'm struggling to find any real faults with it, to be perfectly honest. It's much quicker than it should be on paper. It's quite hideously uncomfortable when you first have it and you do a long distance on it, but actually once you get used to it, it's not bad. I've done the Midlands to the South Coast on it, and back the next day or 2 days later with not too much discomfort, it's got to be said. The tank range isn't really great, and that's one thing I would prefer to be better. I also would prefer the riding mode to stay as it was when you last, you know, when you turn it back on again from the last time we used it. But you know, they're fairly minor things. It's great for scratching on, it's great for commuting on. Yeah. Oh, maybe I won't be having a new bike after all. Sorry to say, I just think the MT09 is the better bike for me. I feel like it does everything just a little bit better. The Speed Triple, it doesn't feel like it's even got the grunt that this has got when this is running in B mode. And maybe it's just delivery and stuff like that, but ultimately they're both a 3-cylinder engine. They're not massively dissimilar weights. I think the Triumph's obviously heavier. It certainly feels a lot heavier. it just doesn't it doesn't deliver the power the same way. The S1000 obviously has got loads of grunt, but I don't know that it's that much. It's got to be quicker than this, even when this is in A mode, and obviously I was running that in rain mode, so I'll take that into account. It just didn't feel that much quicker, but it probably is. However, it certainly didn't feel as confidence inspiring, if I can get my words out, as this does. The Triumph did feel as confidence inspiring as this, but it felt heavier. So this feels more flickable. This feels like a quicker bike altogether than the Triumph, and it feels like a more usable bike, a more interesting and exciting bike than the S1000, and yet at the same time more confidence inspiring as well. If they were all the same price tag, granted, that would be a very, very hard decision to make, wouldn't it? I don't know what I would do if I was in that scenario, I'll be honest. Although if I rode those two and this back to back like I have done, I think I'll be pumping for this. The brakes on this are better than the S1000 by a country mile. Whether that was that particular bike, it had aftermarket levers on it, so I don't know, maybe it was that. You feel like you're in a position whereby you can really control the bike and chuck it about much better than either of the other two. All I can say is, out of this, the triple, the speed triple and the S1000R, sorry, the MT is the winner. Now obviously I've got the KTM to go yet, and I've definitely got an open mind on that, because I have a feeling it's going to blow me away, and I kind of hope it doesn't, because if it does, that might cost me a lot of money. But I have a feeling it's going to be a shining star. But for now, I'm afraid the MT stays as far as I'm concerned, but this story is to be continued.